College football flourished during the 1970s, becoming one of America's favorite pastimes. Ticket sales went through the roof, and television ratings doubled. Two teams dominated that era, the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Alabama Crimson Tide. By 1978, the Cornhuskers had 2 national titles and a Heisman Trophy winner. The Crimson Tide had won 6 SEC championships, played for 4 national championships, but won only one of them. A big reason for the Tide having only one national championship in the decade were the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. In 1971, top-ranked Nebraska crushed number 2 Alabama 38-6 in the Orange Bowl to win the national title. Again, in 1977, Alabama lost a tough road game in Lincoln, which may have cost them the championship that year. But the 78 version of the Tide wasn't going to let that happen again. And with the Big Red from Nebraska traveling to Legion Field to take on the Crimson from Alabama, you just knew it was going to be another Crimson Classic. Welcome to another installment of Crimson Classics. I'm Gary Harris. Alabama and Nebraska, 2 great football powers meeting for the 4th time. Those meetings included a heartbreaking loss in Lincoln the year before, which may have cost Bama the national championship. The 1977 contest saw Bama stumble as quarterback Jeff Rutledge threw 5 interceptions in the 31-24 loss in Lincoln, but even with the mistakes, it was a close game.
I remember the crowd, lively, noisy. You could tell that there was a great intensity in the stadium.
I remember game day going in there and seeing the sea of red. I mean, here's Nebraska. And it was a game that was basically they'd score, we'd score, they'd score back and forth. But I do remember going in at halftime, which, once in a while you'd see Coach Bryant very upset. In this case, he came in and he was irate and he starts chewing out Bob Bumhauer. I think it was the first guy. Unfortunately, Bob sat down in front of him. And then he chewed out Charlie Hanna and just like, you defensive linemen aren't worth a dang. And we couldn't figure out why he was so upset. Well, we found out later, just as he was going in the locker room, somebody had yanked his hat off. And the fans kept passing it off, and you see the state troopers chasing it and stuff like that. So he was already upset about that. So when he came in, plus going back and forth, and he ripped us a new one. So we ended up losing the game in Lincoln. So it kind of set the tone for the next year that we played them in 1978.
We played pretty well. If you remember that game, it went back and forth. And really Nebraska scored there at the end. They had more points than we did. I firmly believe had we had another minute or two, we'd have come back and scored another touchdown and won the game.
We were a young team, an immature team, especially defensively. We had made a lot of mistakes and given them a lot of extra opportunities. And when you play a team like Nebraska, with the quality of team, quality of athletes, great heritage, things of this nature, they're going to do exactly what they did. And they took advantage of those opportunities and beat us.
And we knew it would be a fisticuff. So it was a real contest, and it was all the way up until, in the 4th quarter there. They brought everything they had.
After the tough loss in Lincoln, Bama didn't lose again until 1978, and that included another long road trip.
But the late 70s, my gosh, you had so many great players. You truly at that point had integrated all the African Americans into college football and here at Alabama. It was maybe Coach Bryant's swan song, if you will, that era, because he didn't win a championship after the late 70s. But those football teams were just loaded with talent.
The Crimson Tide traveled 2,000 miles to Los Angeles to take on the Trojans of USC. Southern Cal was undefeated and the top-ranked team in the country and a favorite to top the Tide. But Bama's great fullback Johnny Davis scored a first-quarter touchdown, and Tony Nathan scored 2 as Bama took a 21-6 fourth-quarter lead. USC cut it to 1 with less than a minute to go in the game, and in the days before overtime, the Trojans decided to go for 2. USC's Rob Hurdle dropped a pass, but sophomore Wayne Hamilton charged in hard on Hurdle, forcing a bad pass that Barry Krause intercepted, sealing the Tide victory. Alabama finished the '77 season 10-1, winning its 6th SEC championship in 7 years, and headed to the Sugar Bowl to play Woody Hayes and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 3, Alabama trounced the Buckeyes 35-6 with hopes of moving ahead of number 1 Texas and number 2 Oklahoma following their bowl losses.
Well, going into the bowl games, we were ranked number 3rd in the country, and Notre Dame was 5th. Well, it just so happens that, we play our game, and we play against a really good Ohio State football team led by Woody Hayes. We beat them 36-6. We dominated them. So we felt really good. Then we found out about the upset in 2nd place. So all of a sudden we felt like we moved up to number 2. And then the number 4 team loses. And then the number 1 team gets upset by Notre Dame. We said, yes, we've got a national championship. And then when the polls came out, Notre Dame won it clearly. Didn't even split it with us. And so that really motivated us into the next year saying, hey, you know what? We've got a good football team. We deserve the national championship then. But here, we have another opportunity to win one. So that really set the motivation for 1978 and our championship season.
He made no bones about how important that game was. He talked about how the year before, if we would have won that game, we would have been national champions. Probably should have been anyway, but in spite of what happened with Ole Miss and Notre Dame, if we beat Nebraska, we win the national championship.
Probably cost us the championship in '77. That's what all of us came down here to play for, and so certainly there was a lot of motivation to play well in '78. But on the other hand, that was a motivation every day, regardless of the game. It was another opportunity for us to get better, improve, and hopefully at the end of the year be the champion.
The final poll results gnawed at Bama fans over the summer, and only another national championship would ease the pain in their collective crimson hearts. But it wasn't just wishful thinking. The '78 edition of the Tide was a dang good football team.
That was a young defense in '77. It was a mature defense in '78 with some added guys that really helped. So defensively, we were a much better team.
A very talented team, a very, very talented defensive team. With a defense that strong, if your kicking game was solid and productive, and you had an offense that could score and take care of the football, then you were going to win games. And that was pretty much the mindset going in. Just find ways to win.
It really impressed me was the way that they went about it in preparation. When you come back and start practice 17th of August, and we had the hottest weather and dry and haven't had rain yet. Yeah, we had a little shower one day. And they seemed like they came back for a purpose. They had a wonderful attitude, very cooperative, and I don't say that all our practices went well, I don't know at all, but we didn't have a real poor practice.
With all that talent coming back, this team had national championship potential, and the jumping off point was a date at Legion Field in front of a national television audience against the team that cost them the 1977 national championship. Will it be payback in Birmingham? We'll find out when Crimson Classics returns. It's time to head to the football capital of the South, Legion Field, with the Cornhuskers kicking off to the Tide. Let's play ball. The kickoff sails through the end zone, and Bama starts from the 20. Jeff Rutledge under center, Major Ogilvie in motion, the give to Tony Nathan. The Cornhuskers are pumped as it's 2nd and 10. The all-Birmingham backfield lines up in the bone. This time it's stuck in the belly of fullback Steve Whitman, who bulls his way for 4 yards. A handoff to Tony Nathan with Nebraska's Rod Horn on the tackle. The Cincinnati Bengals drafted Rod Horn in the 3rd round of the 1979 NFL Draft. It's Nebraska's ball at the 42.
They were pretty much the same team they were the year before, which is why I was so impressed with our defense that night and the fact that they still had Hip and they still had Burns. those guys ran all over us when we played them in Nebraska, and they came here and they had a tough night. And so the defense played really great. Defensively, I think they were probably about the same. We actually scored a lot of points on them the year before, but as I said earlier, we really had a better offense in '77 than we had in '78 because we were all so new. I mean, probably 7 of us on offense. That was the first time we'd ever started a game. So.
Nebraska lines up in the I with Big Springs, Texas native Tom Sorley at quarterback. A quick count, and fullback Rick Burns gains 5 yards. This time it's a toss sweep to Isaiah Moses Hip, and IM crosses midfield. It's 3rd and short. With an unbalanced line to the left, another toss sweep to IM Hip, who smacks Bobby Smith, then gets hammered by Bama's number 19, Murray Legg. First down, Huskers. From the 48, it's a toss sweep to IM Hip to the right side, but again, number 19, Murray Legg, is there to stop him in his tracks. Sorley drops back and dumps it to Burns, who finds a hole and gets Nebraska's second first down of the drive. Another toss sweep to Hip, but Bama reads it well and stops him for a 2-yard gain. Sorley back to pass. Bama's E.J. Jr. puts pressure on the quarterback. It's a screen to Burns for 2 yards. The Tide does a nice job of swarming to the football. The Cornhuskers try to run it up the middle, but no go. Barry Krause stops them dead. Krause was a lively player on the field and a lively character off it.
He was well known for taking a 55-gallon trash can and filling it full of water and dragging it in front of somebody's door and leaning up on the door so that when you opened it up in the morning, he did a few other things that will remain unmentioned, but Barry kept everything lively.
It's 4th down and long, so Coach Osborne decides to attempt a field goal from the 31-yard line. Billy Todd drills the 48-yarder, and it's Nebraska ahead 3-0. Last year it was Bama that scored first with a field goal and then went on to lose the game. Let's see if the Tide can do the same thing to the Cornhuskers this year. Lou Eichner returns the kickoff to the Bama 28. A good start for Bama's second possession. It's Bama's ball at the 28. Rutledge sees something to the left and calls his own number. He picks up a nice block from Tony Nathan and runs for a first down.
The wishbone is a balanced offense, and the trick is to force the defense to play you with a balanced defense. The triple option accounts for 5 defensive players to either side of the ball. If they overshift it or rock the safety over or overshift the front, and there's 6 people to that side of the ball and you go into it, then you can't account for one guy. We had the ability to audible the play, or like check with me in the huddle. We could go call the formation right or left, check with me, go to the line of scrimmage, and make the call.
From the 38, Rutledge attempts his first pass of the ball game, and it's a little high, but Major Ogilvie does a great job of pulling it down and then runs for the first down. As always, Major is Mr. Clutch. Rutledge keeps the ball and puts Bama in Nebraska territory for the first time in the game. From the wishbone, bruising fullback Steve Whitman carries it for 3 yards. From the 45, Rutledge drops back to pass. He dumps it to Whitman over the middle. After a Nebraska timeout, the Banks High School standout goes down the line for a gain of 8. This time it's Mountain Brook High School product Major Ogilvie up the middle for the first down. That was the 7th play of the drive. From Nebraska's 23, Rutledge drops back to pass and has Billy Jackson open for just a second, but pressure from Lee Coons makes him throw it a tad early. With 5:13 left in the first quarter, it's the wishbone to the right, but defensive end Rob Horn stays at home and tackles Rutledge for a loss of 1 yard. Keeping it basic and physical, it's Phoenix City's Billy Jackson for a gain of 5. Roger Chapman is on to attempt a 35-yarder, but the normally consistent Chapman is wide left.
An 11-play drive, but no points for Bama. Nebraska leads 3-0. More from Legion Field when Crimson Classics returns. Coming into the game, Alabama was preseason #1, while Nebraska was ranked #10. One reason for the high rankings, solid defenses. As we return to the game, it's early in the second quarter, and Nebraska is about to punt. Let's listen in to the great John Forney and Doug Layton.
On the 12-yard line. Here's the snap. Big rush. He gets his kick away. And Nathan, I think, hopes that he will go into the end zone, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It's going to be down at the 1-yard line. Great play by the Nebraska special teams. Starting at the Alabama 1-yard line. 99 yards of AstroTurf surface between them and 6 Point. Rutledge is going to throw. Looking, throwing. It is incomplete as he tried to hit Bruce Bolton at the 20-yard line. Billy Jackson, Nathan, and Eichner are your backs behind quarterback Jeff Rutledge. And the give is to Nathan. Nathan, tough yardage out to about the 2-yard line. Third down now. Third and a long 8 to go from the 2-yard line. Here's Billy Jackson. Jackson fighting his way out over the 10, to the 15, to the 16-yard line. And what a big play by the sophomore from Phoenix City. And he followed a block of Dwight Stevenson. Jerry, that's what you call getting out of some deep trouble.
I guarantee you, John, that was a great call. I think a lot of people thought Rutledge was going to throw the football, but it was great running.
Here is the give again to Billy Jackson, and Jackson gets 3. Second down and 7 yards to go. Alabama at the 19-yard line. Jeff Rutledge giving to Jackson this time, and the Nebraska people certainly noticed him and throw him backwards. So Rutledge from an I formation this time gives to Jackson. Jackson at the middle to the 30, close to the 30-yard line, down at the 29-yard line. First and 10 for Alabama at their own 29-yard line. Rutledge looking. He's got being pressured. He's going to run it around this way. He's going to keep it himself, and he's hit and dropped. The blocker missed his man, or else Jeff could have moved on up there a little bit. It was George Andrews, and of course give George Andrews some credit, but Rutledge picks up about 5 to the 33-yard line. From the full house wishbone backfield, the give is to Nathan. Nathan breaks one tackle to the 40, still trying to get loose. He's at the 45. Great running by Nathan at the 46-yard line and down. And Tony Nathan, with that great instinct he has for the goal line, was trying to wheel to the left and take off with glory. 6:40 left to go in the half. Alabama has driven 46 yards. First down call by Jeff Rutledge. Rutledge giving to Billy Jackson. Jackson gets 2 tough ones following the block of Mike Brock. Rutledge coming out, looking, wants to throw. Looks for Bolton. Completed. And Nebraska territory at the 38-yard line. Andy Means brought him down, but Bruce Bolton, the Memphis senior, goes up and pulls one in. Alabama, they're at the 38 of Nebraska. And the give is to Lou Eichner. Eichner running hard, gets it to about the 34-yard line. Here is the give to Nathan. Nathan breaks to the left side, to the 25, to about the 23-yard line. Goes Tony Nathan.
These are the kind of drives, John, that you like for your offense to complete. Starting at their own 1 yard, Alabama will be lining up for its 13th snap in this drive.
First down and 10. Jeff Rutledge with a wide side to the right. He comes out. He pitches to Nathan. Nathan throw a hole to the 15. Nathan is spun down at the 11-yard line, and he had a head of steam, and it took a couple of Nebraskans to pull him down.
That's what Indian defense fears. That was not an option play. They wanted Nathan to have the ball, and he was moving full speed when he caught it.
Rutledge runs to the short side, keeps it himself, gets about a yard, that's all. Here's Rutledge on a second down call, inside the 11-yard line. He fakes, he pitches back to Eichner. Eichner looking for running room, gets to the 5, to the 4-yard line, and Tony Nathan gave him a great block on that corner. The full house backfield. Here's Rutledge coming back, fakes, he wants to throw, he lobs one out, and Major Ogilvie takes it for the touchdown. Major Ogilvie completed pass, and Alabama goes out front by a score of 6-3. He caught the pass with Andy Means draped all over him, and I hope you can hear me. I can't hear myself. Roger Chapman will attempt the extra point. 3:06 left. And here's the snap. The kick is in the air. It is good. There's timeout on the field with the score. Alabama 7, Nebraska 3.
Let's listen now as Coach Bryant and Charlie Thornton talk about that 99-yard drive.
I think that went in the end zone. He took it in the end zone. The fish was a lot closer to it than I was, so I am not questioning it, believing it. Bolden was open then. It had to be a real perfect pass, and Jeff had to get it in front of him and low, just like he did, to keep the other guy from having a chance to intercept it. Now, you're going to show you something here that looks pretty good. 3rd down and 8. That's Billy Jackson. Coming out. Come on, Bunch. Get out of the way and block somebody. One. I'm surprised at Bunch, and Bunch running through there and getting in his way. Billy Jackson got us our 1st down.
Got 14 up to the 17-yard line.
He'll get a lot of them before he's through out there. But our execution, now you watch our backs, and I'm not being critical. I am being critical. It's constructive criticism. I was amazed that I think Jeff himself gained more ground. Ground protection there, but he had to be ready. Got a 2-point pass with all that happened there. Jeff picked. Now, Tim Travis has been looking real good all year and doing real fine. He was out trying to block for Jeff. Here comes again. But he doesn't go ahead and block. See, he slows down, and he ought to just go ahead and take off and make the man go around him and do something. Comes a belly play. Tony Nathan, little loose from one, picks up a very valuable yardage. Tony's a senior, and out here at Woodlawn. He's still running. Keep going, Tony.
Tony gets 12 and a 1st down.
Tony's not starting like he started last year, though. He's tired. They all are. Jackson. I'm going to tell you that big Nebraska, and that's the first team that we've played in a long time. They'll all be doing it now with Jeff in there. We run an option away from them. They'll try to catch him from behind. Rutledge back to pass. A beautiful pass. A very fine catch with Bruce Bolton. Bruce Bolton's a senior. Bruce was injured. He had knee surgery last year. Then he was out in California and fiddling around this summer. They better play again with
Lou Eichner.
Little Lou carrying the football. Little Lou's about to get it back to the guy that anybody else has got.
Tony picks up 11.
But Bruce hurt his knee again, playing in the sand or something in California, or going home feeding cotton. Now, Tony wasn't very smart running there. Lou was awfully slow one. He cut back in. I've been noticing in practice all week and telling him about it. See, he cuts away. He's running into the pursuit. He stays out behind Lou. Of course, he was running faster than Lou. That's one thing. He passed him. That's kind of like a foot race. And that big tackle coming the offside, catching Jeff with the football. Full house backfield. Option play. Real fine. Well, I started to say, fine running by Lou. I thought Tony blocked his man down. He didn't. We have one in a minute. It's going to be a good one. Here's a beautiful call right here. It's a very poorly executed play, though. Great play. Jeff Rutledge throwing it over in the end zone. Watch it. It's supposed to be a belly play, and we don't carry out our fakes. We're supposed to hide the ball and make him come up there. That man wouldn't have been within 10 yards. So we just made a great play out of it. A perfect pass by Jeff and a great catch by Major. Otherwise, that would have been no good, but it looked mighty good on the scoreboard. Bear Smith snaps it back. Kevin Jones hold it.
Coach, that was a 99-yard drive play.
99 yards, plays. 2 feet.
That's right, it sure was.
Give them all their earnings, Charlie boy.
Nebraska from its 30 burns up the middle for a 1st down. From the 44, Sorley back to pass, but Byron Braggs gets his hands up and knocks the ball down. Boy, it pays to be 6'6". Isaiah Hipp for 7 yards. After a timeout, Sorley attempts another pass, but pressure from the defense nicknamed the Redwood Forest causes him to overshoot Tim Smith. After the Nebraska punt, Alabama is more than happy to keep it on the ground and go into halftime with a 4-point lead.
The Alabama scoring drive covered 16 plays, 99 yards, and took 7 minutes off the clock. Alabama 7, Nebraska 3. It's second half action when we return to Crimson Classics. Alabama leads by 4 with 30 minutes to go. Let's return to Legion Field in the 1978 Alabama-Nebraska game here on the Bryant Museum's Crimson Classics.
The first half statistics show an Alabama dominance, but the scoreboard, which is the only thing that matters, is too close for comfort. It's hip up the middle, but Curtis McGriff chops his legs out from under him. Nebraska is called for illegal procedure, so it's 2nd and 13. Osborne tries a draw to Burns, but Wayne Hamilton and Marty Lyons are Johnny on the spot. No gain for the Huskers. Sorley's back to pass, and he has time, but the secondary does its job, and Big E.J. Jr. is there to put the hit on the Cornhuskers quarterback. Alabama now with its first drive of the second half. Rutledge under center. It's fullback Jackson for a couple. This time it's Nathan on the carry for a gain of 3. Will Bryant and quarterbacks coach Mal Moore play it safe? You bet they will. It's Jackson to the right, but he comes up short. Nebraska did a great job filling the gap and stopping the Tide from making the first down. After Humphrey's punt sails into the end zone, it's Nebraska's ball. Sorley on the option for no gain. Krause and Lyons on the stop. Sorley fakes to hip, then bootlegs right looking for his big tight end, Junior Miller. Bama's Alan Crumley and Don McNeil are right there, though, and they knock the ball away from the future Atlanta Falcon. Sorley a straight drop back this time, but he's got no time as Curtis McGriff and his buddies crush him for a sack and a big loss. Time for the Cornhuskers to punt. The Cornhuskers punt from their own end zone. It's returnable, and Nathan's got a hold. Down to the Nebraska 38. This time it's Nathan on the carry for a 1-yard gain. Still in the wishbone, it's Rutledge faking to Jackson, moving to his left, but Nebraska's Tom Karlstrom busts through the middle and George Andrews sweeps around the backside to put Rutledge down for a 1-yard gain. Near the 36, Rutledge drops to throw. He's going for George Pugh, but Nebraska's Andy Means does a nice job on the in-and-out route. Bama will punt. Nebraska from the 20. It's hit with the ball, trying to make it to the corner, but no luck, my friend. Barry Krause is there to stuff the play. Sorley rolls and throws to the sideline where Tim Smith makes a nice catch before Don McNeil hammers him out of bounds. Sorley out of the pocket is able to run for the first down. It's Nebraska's first down since the first quarter. On first down, it's Anniston, Alabama's Andre Franklin for the Cornhuskers up the middle for 2. Sorley scoots out of the pocket and finds Kenny Brown for another Nebraska first down. It's a toss sweep to Burns, but he's stopped by a host of Crimson Tide defenders for a 1-yard loss. Sorley throws into a crowd. It's incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and long. The Nebraska quarterback flows left and finds Tim Smith on the sideline. Smith makes a nice move and is close to the Nebraska first down. Very close, but inches away from a first down. Osborne decides to go for it. Gutsy call. Will it pay off? Lined up in the eye. Sorley tosses it to Burns, but a great tackle by backup linebacker Randy Scott. It's close. What a job by the Decatur, Georgia native. Bama's ball, but after the play and a personal foul penalty, the Tide has moved back to the 34-yard line. Nebraska's defense holds Bama to a 3-and-out, and Woody Humphrey is on to punt. It's a high arching punt that sends Frank Lockett inside his 10, and instead of letting it go, he catches it on his knees down at the 7. Nebraska once again in an unbalanced line. Sorley moves to his right looking for Tim Smith, but he underthrows him, and Don McNeil is there for the interception. Watch as McNeil plays his man perfectly and gets the pick.
Alabama is dominating the stats, but where it counts on the scoreboard, it's still very close. It's Bama's ball when we return to Crimson Classics. It's Alabama's ball on the Nebraska 39-yard line. Let's rejoin the Alabama Radio Network with the legendary John Forney and Doug Layton.
Jeff Rutledge looking, calling his count, full-house wishbone. He gives to Billy Jackson. Jackson fighting for hard yardage to about the 34-yard line. Jeff Rutledge on a 3rd and 5. Looks up and down. 6-man Nebraska front coming out. Rutledge drives himself, goes out, and he gets close to first down yardage at about the 29-yard line. Jeff Rutledge at the throttle. The wishbone is full. Here is Rutledge fumbling the football and falling on it immediately. No gain. Rutledge on the 3rd down call, looking up and down. Barks his count, comes up, pitches back to Ogilvy. Ogilvy trying to get outside, does, to the 20, to the 15, out of bounds at the 13-yard line, and a great block by Bruce Bolton over here on the corner as he sprung in and gave Major Ogilvy some running room, and did he take advantage of it? The Birmingham Mountain Brook sophomore did indeed.
Block with Tony Nathan there. Another great block by Bruce Bolton out the flat. 2 fine blocks on the opposite play, and Major Ogilvy running with the football. Nice pitch by Jeff. Nice soft pitch he could take. Bingo. That's a good. See, he got the outside of it. Get away from that pursuit.
1st and 10. Jeff Rutledge looking. Here is the give to Nathan. Nathan fighting his way inside the 10, the 8-yard line. Goes Tony Nathan, following the block of Jim Bunch. Here is Jeff Rutledge keeping the football, faking, getting down to about the 2-yard line. A beautiful, beautiful fake by Rutledge on a keeper going to his right. And he was all alone, picking up first down number 14 for Alabama. The ball's at the Nebraska 2. Rutledge calling. The give is to Nathan. Nathan wedging his way into the end zone. Touchdown for Alabama, and they go out front 13-3, driving 39 yards and leaving a minute 26 left. And the fans here are going not just slightly, but very delirious.
When I was at Alabama, it was a lot of fun to watch our offense. I loved to watch the wishbone because I played it when I was a kid growing up, you know. And, we had Jeff Rutledge and Stedman Shealy, and they do the dive man. It was so much fun to watch, basically the offense run the ball. And, we had Tony Nathan, who was outstanding football, Major Ogilvy, and Steve Whitman, and a great offensive line.
With the clock under 2, Bama kicks off to the Cornhuskers. That was a 9-play, 39-yard touchdown drive that used up 3:05 on the clock. From the 26, Sorley passes to Tim Smith for a nice gain. 2nd and short, Bama hits the gaps, expecting the run, but Hip wiggles through anyway and gets enough for a first down. It's Hip again, but the defensive line does its job and clears the way for Barry Krause to drop him for a gain of 2. On 2nd and long, Sorley wants to throw, but Marty Lyons and company get the pressure, and it's incomplete. As the clock winds down, Sorley is back to pass, but the secondary does a great job. And behemoth defensive tackle Curtis McGriff makes the sack to end the 3rd quarter.
A nice rush then.
Curtis McGriff.
The big Curtis from Cottonwood. Alabama 13, Nebraska 3, into the 3rd.
With 3 quarters in the books, Alabama is dominating the statistics, but still the Tide leads by only 10. To start the 4th quarter, Nebraska punts the ball, and Tony Nathan calls for a fair catch. Alabama's ball at the 26. When Nebraska going 3 and out, the Cornhuskers' tired defense must take the field again. From the I, Rutledge tries to set up a wide receiver screen, but overshoots Michael Coleman. Still from the I, it's Whitman for a gain of 1. This time from the wishbone, it's Whitman again. Nice run by the fullback from Birmingham, but short of the first down. Bama's Humphrey is on to punt. He gets his leg into it with a nice hang time, and the Cornhuskers call for a fair catch at their own 28. Sorley turns and gives it to Burns for a pickup of 4, tackled by Birmingham native Ricky Gilliland. Sorley back to throw, pumps, then hits Burns out of the backfield, but Wayne Hamilton makes a nice play to bring up 3rd and about 3. It's a fake to Hip up the middle. Sorley is sweeping right, with speedster Kenny Brown trailing for the pitch. This could go for a big gain, maybe turn the game around for Nebraska, except for one thing, E.J. Jr. EJ coming from the weak side, using his great speed to put himself between the quarterback and the trailing wide receiver, and Sorley doesn't look. He pitches it right to EJ. It's Alabama ball. Let's listen now as Coach Bryant talks about that big turnover created by EJ Jr.
Heck, he tackled the wrong man, and I thought he had the ball. I thought he had it too, Rick.
That was the play where E.J. Jr. intercepted the pitch out.
Yeah. Didn't know he had it. I didn't know he had it either.
I think that EJ was probably the transition between the linebackers epitomized by Leroy Jordan to those linebackers a lot of people talk about like now, like Cornelius Bennett and Derek Thomas.
It's Alabama's ball with a 10-point lead, and the clock is running. Let's see what Coach Bryant and the Tide decide to do when we return to Crimson Classics. It's Bama's ball on Nebraska's 34-yard line. Can the Tide put it away on this drive? Let's find out as we return to the 1978 Alabama-Nebraska game on Crimson Classics.
With the clock under 13 minutes, Bama hands it up the middle to Nathan, who picks up 8 yards. Nathan again on the carry, bullying his way for what looks like a sure first down, but the official says no, it's 3rd and short. Following a great block by the fullback Steve Whitman and the right guard Mike Brock, Nathan picks up more than enough for the first down. Alabama now has the ball inside the red zone. The Tide has rushed for 235 yards, while Nebraska has only managed 57 on the ground. Rutledge sweeps right, but George Andrews is right there to stop Bama's quarterback for a short loss. Rutledge hands to Ogilvy, but Andrews is there again, this time causing the ball to pop out. It's a fumble, and Nebraska takes advantage. The Cornhuskers have the ball. From the 19, it's Hip with a nice power run for a gain of 9. Sorley tosses it to Hip, who picks up the first, but what a smack by Randy Scott. From just outside the 30, Sorley attempts a pass to the tight end Junior Miller, but he can't hold on. It's Hip again with an off-tackle run for another first down. From the 46, and with the run game working for the Cornhuskers, Coach Osborne decides to go to the air, but Bama is ready. Krause and Hamilton get pressure, and Sorley is forced out of the pocket where Curtis McGriff and Marty Lyons finish him off for the 3rd sack of the game and a big loss.
Good rush here. Reaching for him, don't quite get there. Somebody, Brock's Krause, and somebody else gets a hold of him, and now somebody else, that was Marty Lyons. But they all had the effort. They're all trying to get to him. Marty finally got him along with Mike Sebastian. I'm mighty proud of Mike. I'll tell you, he's coming a long way.
It's 2nd and long now, and Nebraska tries a fullback draw. It's Sorley back to pass again, but Lyons and Hamilton won't give him time to breathe, and as he's pulled to the ground, he throws it incomplete to the feet of his fullback. It's 4th down. After the punt, it's Bama's ball from the 26. Let's go back to John Forney and Doug Layton for their call.
1st and 10. Jeff Rutledge calling. Rolling out to his left, penalty play. Jeff is hit, crawls forward to about the 29-yard line. Let's see what the call will be.
It's going to be against Alabama, John. Illegal procedure against Alabama. They turn it down.
So 2nd down and 8 for Alabama at their own 28-yard line. Rutledge comes out, gives to Nathan. Nathan over the 30 to about the 31. Alabama rated number 1 in the AP poll. Nebraska number 10. And certainly there are 2 fine football teams performing before a sellout capacity crowd tonight. Bolton is split to the right side on the 3rd down call. 3rd and about 4. Long count by Jeff as he rolls out. He may throw. He does. He wants to throw. He's looking long. Throwing to Bolton, and interference is called on Andy Main at the 31-yard line.
I'm telling you, John, he was hanging all over it.
Jeff Rutledge took a real shot from number 93, Dan Pancic. Dan his son counted a man, but Jeff gets up. So it is first down for Alabama and 13 to go with the ball on the 35-yard line. Rutledge giving to the second man through. That's Nathan. Nathan is still on his feet as he fights his way to about the 32-yard line. They're at the 32.5-yard line in Nebraska territory. Rutledge looks at a 5-man front. Long count by Jeff on 2nd and 10. He gives to his fullback, Billy Jackson. Jackson gets it to about the 30, and that is all. 3rd and 8, Alabama at the Nebraska 30. They lead by 10. We are late in the football game. Jeff Rutledge comes back, pumps once, throws over the middle. Completed to Bolton at about the 14-yard line. First down for Alabama inside the 15. And he was wide open, and Jeff threaded the needle.
You know, John, that's his first completion of the second half. Rutledge is now 5 out of 13 for 1 touchdown. He has not thrown an interception.
Rutledge comes out, looks, pumps once. He's going to try to get away, running himself, and he does. Gets to about the 9-yard line. A 5-yard pickup of Jeff. 2nd down and 5. They're out and over the ball. The full house wishbone. Tight ends in both sides. Neal and Travis. Long count. Here is Rutledge keeping himself, faking and going down at it to the 9-yard line. I think that must have been a busted play. Dwight Stevenson over the football. Jeff Rutledge comes out, rolls to his right, keeps himself. He goes in and he's close to first down yardage at about the 4-yard line. We'll have to wait and see where the ball is put down. Rutledge asks for quiet. As Alabama comes out, they're poised over the ball. Rutledge fumbles the football, and I don't believe.
That's right. It'll be Nebraska's ball. They held Alabama.
And Nebraska has made a quarterback change for the first time tonight. Jeff Quinn, a sophomore from Ord, Nebraska, is in at the throttle. And he fumbles the football. Right at the 3-yard line, Alabama has recovered it, I believe. Ricky Gilliland. Rutledge under the center, comes out. He gives to Nathan, who's going not Nathan, it was his fullback, Billy Jackson. He gets no gain. Here's Rutledge rolling to his left. He keeps himself, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. The clock moves with 2:25 left to go. 3rd down for the Crimson Tide as Rutledge rolls out. He's coming to his right. He keeps himself, goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama. And Rutledge, TD, takes him out to 19-3. So if Nebraska wanted Jeff to run, well, he did. Kevin Jones will hold, and Alan McElroy will attempt the extra point. Here's the snap. McElroy's kick is in the air, and it is good. Alabama is out front by a score of 20-3.
With only 2 minutes to go, Coach Osborne sticks with the youngster at quarterback, Jeff Quinn. Quinn attempts to throw, but is flushed out on first down. On second down, it's a draw that picks up the first for the Cornhuskers. And with the clock moving, Quinn drops back, and again he takes off for a couple. On the next play, he completes his first pass, then tries to go deep. Incomplete as the clock winds down. A big win, a revenge win. A solid way for the #1 team in the country to start the season off.
I don't remember Coach Bryant being like smiley and happy, but I remember after that game he had a pretty good step going, and he walked into the dressing room and he was pretty excited. He was smiling, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but I can still remember that smile.
We deserved to win, and that was the attitude. Was we didn't think about losing. There was not even a thought of losing. It was how many points can we put on the board, and how can we position ourselves in the top 3 and maintain that and get to #1. So we were always thinking championship.
That drive was huge. That game was huge for Alabama.
A 99-yard drive. That series turned the game around for the Tide and propelled them to victory and put them on a path to New Orleans, where another series of plays in the Sugar Bowl would carry them to the national championship and a spot in Crimson lore. But that's for another time and another Crimson Classic. For the Bryant Museum, I'm Gary Harris.